Today we're going to be putting the Stage 2 KC300x Turbo on my 7.3 Powerstroke. It's a 2002 F350 7.3. It's got 310,000 miles on it. Not much performance-wise done to it. It's got a DP tuner on it as of now, and the truck's really been struggling in terms of power. Not enough air getting to it. I can just tell the turbo's surging, it's lagging, it's not really picking up and doing exactly what it's got to do. So since I put the higher tunes on it, it definitely needs more air. So that's what we're going to be doing today, Stage 2 Turbo. It's got stock injectors as of now, which is the minimum injectors you can run with it, but you can go all the way up to some bigger injectors, which maybe one day I will. With the tuner and the turbo, I'm hoping to get just a little bit more power out of it. Especially since it's a shorty, I want it to be able to get up and go a little bit quicker. It's still got that 7.3 lag to it, where it's just a little bit slow off the line. I want it to just kick and go right away. So that's the goal of today's video. We're gonna get it installed. So here's the beautiful turbo that I bought. I think I got it for right around $1,100. KC300x Turbo Stage 2. And like I said, I want to get more air to the truck, so hoping the boost levels go up and whatnot. While I'm there, they recommend doing up pipes, which I'm not gonna do the bellowed up pipes because they're the 450 bucks. And I don't want to get some aftermarket garbage ones. So what I'm going to do is replace the little donut seals that go up to the, I think it's called the donut or whatever, the Y pipe. And do that. I figured, you know, if they lasted 20 years, why not just do it? And these were only 12 bucks, so do it that way. And there's nothing wrong with the up pipes themselves. I don't really see the need to do the bellowed ones as of now. I'm going to do exhaust manifold gaskets while it's out. Of course, the turbo pedestal O-rings, which they do send you their own, but I like the Ford OEM parts, so I'm going to put the Ford ones in. Brand new exhaust manifold bolts. Hopefully the old ones come out easily, but I know they're a big pain on the butt on a 7.3. And then just up pipe reinstall hardware, which will make it way easier instead of using the rusty 20-year-old bolts that come out, which we'll see once again how easily they do come out. And then brand new turbo pedestal. The deleted one. There's no exhaust back pressure valve on here with the actuator arm, so it's been completely deleted. So that is good. And then they just give you this intake boot and so forth. So we'll go from here and we're going to start installing this. As you can see underneath the hood, the only thing I got right now that's visible is a cold air intake from Riff Raff, which is actually pretty dirty. You might want to clean that before we're done here today. And there's really nothing else done to it. Stock high pressure oil pump, stock fuel pump. There's pretty much nothing else done other than the DP tuner, the stock injectors. Like I said, the stock turbo's been in there. No other performance upgrades, so hopefully this turbo lights this truck up a little bit. So before we start, there's one important trick on the 7.3 that if you ever have taken this turbo off, the back clamp is a pain in the butt. It doesn't like to come off. I'm going to show you a trick of how you can get that clamp off. It's going to be the first thing we do here to get this clamp off. So you can't really see it, but there's the one clamp that comes up from the up pipes where the donut is, the Y pipe. There's a clamp back there that's really difficult to come off. Here we go. So what we're going to do is make sure the truck's cold first, so you don't want to burn yourself. But you're going to loosen that clamp up before we start anything, and then we're going to start the truck up, and the vibration should pop that clamp right off. Rather than trying to beat it with a screwdriver or whatever, you're just going to be fighting yourself. It's going to take you forever to get that clamp off. There you go, you can see it right in there. So it's a 7/16 deep socket or an 11 deep socket. So go ahead, pop that clamp off, start the truck up, and the vibration should kick that clamp right off.
Turn the light, you can see it right here.
So vibration from the engine starting should pop that off. If you need to rev it up or whatever, go ahead and do so, but that clamp is loose, and it made my life way easier down the road here. Alright, so what I'm going to do is take the batteries. This side's coming completely out, the airbox coming completely out. We got to get these intercooler pipes out. The spider pipe has to come out. And then it's pretty simple. There's a down pipe for the exhaust, and then the turbo. It's got 2 bolts holding it in, and then the pedestal is 4 bolts. So I'm going to go ahead and start taking the batteries out, take this airbox out, like I said, and we'll get to work here. All right, intercooler pipes are out. Now what you're gonna wanna do is take that spider off. There's the little lines that go to the intake and the wastegate. There's one for the air intake heater. If you have that, if you have not deleted that, there's a plug down low, you see there. And then there's just 8mm holding this thing on, hose clamps. You got one that goes right to the compressor housing. And then there's two on either side that go down to the plenums that are also held in by little boots and 8mm clamps. So what you're gonna wanna do is take them off like catty corner. So the one side, take the 8mm off by the plenum, and then the other side, take the hose clamp, the 8mm off closer to the spider. So you wanna alternate them. You don't wanna take both of them off on the bottom or else it's gonna be very tough. So alternate them. Leave one boot basically hooked up to the plenum. The other one, the boot will go with the spider when you pull it out. All right, so now that we got the spider pipe off, it's a pretty simple job from here to just get this turbo replaced. One more 7/16 clamp holding that down pipe on. You can see down there to the left. There's two 13mm bolts that actually hold the turbo to the pedestal. As long as you got your clamp loosened in the back and you did the procedure that I showed in the beginning of the video to get that clamp loose, it's just a matter of popping that off real quick. And then this turbo should come right out very simply. That's pretty much it. Turbo's out. Not that bad of a job. So I'm also going to be replacing this turbo pedestal with the deleted one, so there's not going to be an actuator arm. So I'm going to have to take that off as well. Like I said, 4 10mm bolts to get that off. And actually while I'm here, I'm going to be doing the rear fuel line that goes to the rear of the passenger side head. Those are likely to fail, so they'll get a little crack in them and be spitting fuel everywhere. So we don't want that. I'm going to replace that. It's never been touched. So while we're in here, that's an easier job with all this disconnected. This thing's basically junk. See that? Remember I broke that? Last time it wasn't even hooked up. Well, here we have the donut and the turbo off. This I did off camera. This is a pain in the butt. The bolts are 10mm bolts and they come off, and it's not all the times will they come out. Sometimes they'll shear off in there. Got lucky this time, and if it does shear off, you got to replace the whole thing because it's not even worth drilling it out, or sometimes it might even break the end of here, which is not an uncommon thing, but luckily they came out, so this piece is reusable. And I'm gonna go ahead and put the Molly gaskets in there with the clamps and rebolt it with new hardware. But let me show you what it looks like in here. So back in there, you can see the gaskets are back there, and the little clamps, the end of it where the bolts go through. Those seals are worn down. The one was starting to leak a little bit, the other one wasn't, but they're way thinner than these other ones that I'm putting back on the truck over here. These Molly ones are way thicker. And like I said, I don't see the reason to spend the 450 bucks on new up pipes when you can just re-gasket it and then you get another 20 years out of it. I mean, I know these have to be the original ones, but yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind saving that 400 bucks. Like I say, I only spent 12 bucks on the gasket, and I got lucky with all the bolts and stuff. It also leads me, originally I said in the video I was going to do the manifold gaskets. They're not leaking at all. I can see that clearly from left to right side on both of them. I crawled underneath there. They're not leaking one bit, so I don't really see the need to pull them off, and then God forbid a bolt snaps off in that cylinder head. That's the last thing I'd need right now. So I'll just play it safe. You know, it's not broken, so I'm not going to fix that. I don't see any signs of leakage at all, so I'll just keep running it for now how it is without doing those gaskets. And that's going to be another couple hours job to get this fender liner out and then get all of those bolts out, because they don't like to come out. A lot of times you have to weld a nut onto the end of them if they break. If you strip them, they're rusty. Like I said, they've been in there for 20 years. This truck's about 20 years old. So we're just going to touch these top ones since I already got them off and they showed a little bit of leakage, and then we'll go from there. We'll put this turbo back in, the new one, and then we'll wrap it up. I just want to show you the size difference. Actually, it is pretty substantial. That's the old one, and then that's the new one. I mean, very, very substantial difference. That's these new ones, as I get them in and they seat properly, shouldn't have any leaks in any time near future. So there you go. There's the little card here. I got these off of Riff Raff Diesel. So I don't know. I don't see the need. Once again, I don't see the need to spend the $450 when you can just regasket it, and you get at least you get another 10 years out of them. Look at how thick these things are. And then as long as the up pipes are in good shape and they're not rotting away and stuff, I don't see the need. So let's go from here. All right, I just got that donut back in with those new gaskets, and it was a tough job to do that because they're a little bit thicker, and the bolts, since it's a little bit thicker, the bolts don't have that much to grab onto with the threads. But I got it. I was able to get the threads to bite, and it looks good. I'm very happy with how that came out. It don't look like it's gonna leak anymore. Squish that gasket, and I don't see it leaking anytime soon. So now I can go ahead and put the deleted pedestal back in, and then basically work backwards from there. Put the turbo in, put the spider back on, put all the stuff back on, like the intercore pipes, the batteries and stuff, and basically work backwards from where I just was. Hardest part is gonna be lining up the turbo where that up pipes, where they come up. Lining that up with there's a little groove and there's a little dimple in there. That needs to be lined up, and then getting that clamp back on, that's the hardest part. And then reassembly after that is very simple. So let's get after it. Skipped a few steps here in the video, but it was all self-explanatory. Just reverse process there, and it's looking good. Everything went back together, didn't break anything on the way back in, and it's looking good. So we're ready for a first start up here in a moment. Let me just get the batteries back in and we'll get rolling. All right, it's time to start it up. See what it sounds like. Yeah, that was definitely worth $1,200. I'll drop you off like right here, maybe. Hauls ass. All right, guys, real quick, I just want to sum up the installation of the turbo. Pretty straightforward job, as you can see on video. And afterwards, getting this turbo in, it is night and day. The truck literally rips right now. It's probably one of the fastest things that I've ever driven as of now, and it's not even that fast, but it's just a night and day difference. The throttle response is amazing. I thought it would be slow off the line since it's a bigger turbo. It's got a spool up, but I mean, it's like instant throttle response. There's no more of that 7.3 lag that I'm used to from this truck, and it's night and day. Like I said, it's insane how much fun it is to drive this truck now. Like I don't just want to drive it all day. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it lights up and it spools up real quick. It's got a really good whistle to it. It reminds me of a 6.0 whistle a little bit, and I couldn't be happier with it. Definitely worth the money. And we're gonna do some more videos. I got some before and afters, so I'll definitely make like little clips for that and then in a separate video so we can compare before and after, so you guys can see the sound and kind of the 0 to 50 and so forth like that. So we'll do that in another video. I'll do some pure sound videos and such in other videos, but basically installation not that bad. Initial impression, turbo kicks ass. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have a 7.3 and you're looking to get one of these, I would say hands down this is probably the biggest upgrade I've done to the truck, even more so than the tuner. I mean, the truck, just the throttle response is amazing, and I haven't seen that from a 7.3 like this. I haven't driven a 7.3 with any performance gains, so versus the stock, it kicks ass every day. So I will see you guys in the next video. Hope you enjoyed it, and until then.